Hi, I'm Christa Jacobson, headmistress of the Budo, where we teach authentic ninjutsu and classical samurai bujutsu. And for those of you who don't know what that is, those are the ancient martial arts of the ninja and samurai. Today in this video, I'm going to shoot a review of the 2019 Ninja Stealth Camp. This particular event is an annual event here at the Budo. I'm going to share my thoughts with this particular event. I did shoot some behind the scenes footage that I'm going to share with all of you guys in this particular video. So once I get done sharing that particular video footage with you guys, stay tuned. And you guys are going to come right back here where I'm at right now, and I'm going to share some of my afterthoughts on the event as well as my outro. So enjoy. Hello everybody, I am on my way to the annual Ninja Stealth Camp. We have a here at the Budo we host an annual Ninja Stealth Camp every year where we work on historical ninjutsu and espionage and all that good stuff. And although we are a ninjutsu school, we also have 7 traditions, and we teach self-defense and Bujutsu and martial arts and Iaijutsu and Jujutsu and anything to do with the ninja and samurai. This particular camp, once a year we have a 2-day camp where we solely focus on stealth tactics, espionage, information gathering, any of that kind of stuff. Within the Budo we have 7 warrior traditions, right? So Kokoru Kempo, Tenjin Ryu Jujutsu, Tomoru Shinobi Jutsu, Eshinryu Iaijutsu, Kotoru Koppojutsu, Gyokoru Koshijutsu, and Togakuryu Ninpo Taijutsu. Because two of our 7 traditions are actually ninja schools or ninja traditions, we get to really have a camp where we focus a lot on those 2 particular ryuha out of our 7 traditions, the Tomoru and Togakuryu. And then we also look at sources or public sources and documents and scrolls that are outside of the 7 traditions too, like Bansen Shukai, Ninpiden, Shoninki, things of that sort. So the next 2 days we're going to really delve into the world of ninja and work on everything possible that has to do with concealment, stealth, any of that kind of stuff. Typically day 1 we work on just historical aspects, so anything that would be done at the time of the ninja, right, during that period. Day 2 we tend to work a lot more on the things, or I don't want to say modern variations, but in a way, you know, we look at it from like how we can use technology, how can we use modern technology to implement the same kind of skills. We also on day 2 tend to look at a lot of like concealed carry, defense tactics and things like that against surprise attacks. That's another thing that we tend to focus on as well. And obviously we use historical quotes and documents to support why we do that, but that's for them on day 2. But this was the first video to my stealth camp review. I'll shoot lots of these review videos as we go through the couple days so you guys can see what we're getting, what we're going to be getting into, and hopefully you guys watch this and who knows, maybe next year you guys load on my Facebook page and you guys sign up and you guys can come and train with us in the arts, right? Alright everybody, so we have now finished day 1 of the 2019 annual Ninja Stealth Camp. We started out with Kuden and then we moved into climbing drills. We always start with climbing drills because to me that's just one of those functional ninjutsu skills, you know what I mean? Like there's so many climbing tools and ladders and, you know, kaginawa and rope and all that kind of stuff. And to me, just starting out, we always start all 2-day camps, whether it's Tomoru or Daikomyosai or the stealth camp, we always start with climbing drills just because it's just a very integral part of ninjutsu, you know, when you look at the historical documents. So we started with that, and then we moved into Kuden. Once we got done with that, I'm not quite for sure if I'm going to do this in order, but we worked a lot from a Kuden perspective, or looked at kind of the historical aspects. We worked out of the Bansen Shikai quite a lot. We worked on Santo Tanko no Kata, which is from the Togakuryu. We worked on a lot of the Ninja Biken, which is the Shinobi Katana techniques from the Togakuryu. We worked on various different Tanjutsu skills from the Tenchi Jin, which is from Tomoru Shinobi Jutsu. We worked on various stealth walking drills. We didn't work on any specific stealth walking step because we've done, anybody who follows my page or follows my YouTube channel, I mean, we've done stealth walking to death. We do stealth walking a lot. So we didn't really work on a specific step. We just worked on silent walking, and we did like almost like an obstacle course, directional patterns, different ways of walking. We went outside the box. We didn't just say, okay, let's work on, say, koashi or oashi or nusabito ashi or shinobi ashi. We didn't do that. We were very specific in the way that we weren't specific with the step, but we were very more open or specific to getting outside of the box and trying to work with every step, sideways, forward, backward, angles, around through the woods, various different angling and different patterns of steps and things like that. So in many ways we did more of an advanced stealth walking, more so than just your typical, okay, walk down the line and do this, right? Let's see, what else did we do? We worked on knife fighting, concealed weapons, concealed carry, I guess. We worked on those specific things. We worked on Zetsumi Jutsu, Hisatsu, or assassination techniques. So Zetsumi Jutsu was an aspect of the training today. A lot of shadow techniques, bending shadows, shape-shifting, using the shadows to your advantage, going between light and dark, understanding the shadows. We did that. We worked on various different in-yo aspects, if you will, or blending the two, or going in between in and then yo, and then in and yo. We talked a lot about the mentality of espionage, difference between information and intelligence, different ways of defending intelligence, counterintelligence, how ninja actually worked at the time. It was a good day. Honestly, I think today was just a really good day. I think the people who didn't come, you guys really missed a good day one. That's for damn sure. I definitely think you guys are going to love the footage that we got. So, you know, I don't know how much footage we're going to get in day two, but definitely day one's training was top. It was good. So, good morning. How are all of you today? Right, so we're getting ready to start day two of the annual Ninja Stealth Camp. Yesterday was freaking awesome. If today is as equal as yesterday was, this will be the best camp we've had in 4 or 5 plus years. I mean, we're doing really good. Everybody who's attended is doing great. The materials that we're covering is awesome. We're getting lots of great video footage, lots of great pictures. It's just a good training camp. You know, I think one thing that's really grueling about the camp is that we're training within a 24-hour period. We train 16 hours within 24 hours because it starts Friday at 4 and we're done Saturday at 2. So when you look at that, I mean, we always say it's a 2-day camp. It is a 2-day camp, but it's really 16 hours of training within 24 hours. I mean, it's a fucking lot, and a lot of people aren't used to training for 16 out of 24 hours, so it's really fucking grueling. And but the reason I do that is because I want the students to get that feeling of like the art of endurance, the art of perseverance. Keep going, you're tired, stay focused. We don't want that, you know, those organizations where it's like, oh, you know, Friday it's like 2 hours and then we have a 4-hour break and then we have another 4 hours in the afternoon or some shit like that or whatever. That's their big taikai. Everything I do is extreme. You know what I mean? Everything I do is extreme. So it's like, yep, 16 out of 24 hours. We're swinging swords, spears, bow and arrows. And that's the way all the taikais have been ever. Since the beginning. It's always been like that. So they are tired. And I'm tired as hell. I couldn't sleep last night. Every hour I'm looking at the clock. I'm like, damn, go to sleep. And then the dreams when I was sleeping was just wicked dreams. You know, I don't know what the universe is trying to tell me, but damn. Woo! This witch is sweating like I just went to church, let me tell you. Fuck, it is hot. So, yeah, actually I can say that we kicked ass. We're about halfway through day 2. Totally kicked ass. And
did good. We started out like I wanted to with a little bit of meditation philosophy. We worked on the kuji-in and the kuji-kiri, and we talked about how to cast spells and work on the esoteric aspects of Ninpo. From there, we got into archery, Bujutsu, and I'm a big fan of that. We've got multiple archery videos on YouTube. You guys should check them out. Just put in Soke Anshu archery. You know, you'll see them. I'm really a big advocate for archery for lots of reasons, survival, lots of reasons. So we worked on that. We did lots of different archery drills. We didn't just do the whole, okay, here's the bow, there's the target, stand in one spot and shoot. We worked on movement drills, targeting drills, very much worked on, like, not just to hit the target, but bullseye, being specific with the shot. Like I said, a lot of combative movement drills. We did things like that, running out of cover, in cover, so on and so forth. From there, we went into the fukiya, which is the blowgun. We talked about the construction of a blowgun, historically how it would have been used, the ninjas' use of a blowgun, how they would have constructed it, various different poisons that they would have put on the dart to use it, how they would have actually got close enough to use the blowgun or the fukiya, and we worked on that. So yeah, we're doing pretty good. Now we're going to the Hanbu, and we are going to be doing, well, first, you know, take a little break, get some fluids in us, but once we're done with that, we're going to be working on Tanto Jutsu, or edged weapons training, concealed carry, surprise defense tactics against surprise attacks, and we will also be working on Tameshigiri, which is test cutting. So, you know, everyone tends to, they freeze up when they actually got to use the weapon itself. So we will be doing that. More than likely, we will not be using, we're probably going to use traditional Tanto for the Tameshigiri aspect. I already know we will. We will be using traditional Tanto for the Tameshigiri. We won't be using a traditional Tanto when it's time to work on the edged weapon defensive tactics against surprise attacks. We won't be working on that. We won't be using a classical Tanto for that. I'm really big on all of my, if you guys are part of the Budo, you need to be carrying a knife. You always carry a knife. There's never a time you don't carry a knife. I mean, make sure that the blade fits whatever state you live in, you know, law, but you need to carry a blade.
Right, so the last video that I shot for you guys is when we were going back to the Hanbu dojo before lunch, and in that particular time frame, there was a lot of things that I wanted to cover before lunch, because there was something that I wanted to do with my students after lunch that I knew was going to take up a lot of time. So on the way back, once we left the park and we were on our way back to the Hanbu, I wanted to go over how to pick locks, how to break locks, how to infiltrate a specific way. And I did use a lot of modern locks. I didn't use traditional Japanese locks in that. From a traditional ninjutsu perspective, I used modern day padlocks, modern day combination locks, and I showed them how to pick locks, and I showed them how to break locks in case they wanted to ever get into something, or they needed to get into something that was already locked. From there, we worked on concealed carry tactics. I showed them the reality of being able to pull a weapon while under distress. So we did do a slight bit of firearms training where they had to access their firearm while they were carrying like a concealed carry firearm underneath a t-shirt or something like that. And I showed them just the reality of how tough it really is to be able to pull it out under a stressful situation. And that was something that I really wanted to do, because it's not as easy as what, you know, all these advertisements for concealed carry wants to make you think, okay? So although that particular part of the training session didn't last very long, it was something that I wanted them to be able to see and understand. I know all of them understood that from a functional perspective. All of them already knew that. I've talked about it multiple times at the dojo. But sometimes there's a difference between knowledge and wisdom. And knowing something and understanding something is a lot different than experiencing something. And I want them to have that experience of how difficult it truly is to do that, especially if it's, you know, it's under a stressful situation and, you know, someone is putting pain on you. And when you're feeling pain and anxiety goes up, fear goes up, stress goes up, it's a lot more difficult than what people want you to believe as far as firearms training. So hopefully my students really got the message that I was trying to get across in that particular section of training. And I know they did, but it was something that I really wanted to paint, because here in this area, I live in Kansas City, and in Kansas is a constitutional carry. Anyone can carry a concealed firearm in this state. You don't even need a concealed carry license. Everyone can carry a gun. So it's something that I wanted my students to understand, because in this state, so many people just carry all the time, that I don't think they really understand the reality of using the weapon functionally, from a self-defense perspective. Now, once we got done doing the concealed carry from a firearm perspective, I also wanted to work on concealed carry tactics with an edged weapon. That's something that I am a huge advocate for, edged weapons training, as well as edged weapon defensive tactics, and just edged weapons period for self-defense, because I just think that it gives you a lot more versatility from a defensive perspective. Now, we did work on various different we did work on the psychology of the edged weapon, various different tactics using the edged weapon, why I support edged weapons from a defensive perspective. We also worked on the type of knives and blades that I prefer for defensive tactics. Another section of training that we worked on was tameshigiri, and tameshigiri in classical Japanese martial arts means test cutting, and I wanted my students to be able to experience that as well. Since we're talking about edged weapons, I wanted them to practice actually cutting something with a real live blade. We did use a knife as well. We didn't pull out, any of the nihonto or the Japanese swords or the katana or anything like that. We worked with a live blade, a knife, a tanto, and we practiced cutting objects so they can get the feeling of what it's like cutting through an object, not just like, stabbing something with ski or some of the various different things that you see in some of the training drills, because in a training drill, you don't really want to hurt your opponent. So the tameshigiri gave them an opportunity to experience live cutting with a live blade. Now, once we got done doing the edged weapon defensive tactics and tameshigiri and so on and so forth, it was time for lunch. Once we got done with lunch, I had something planned that I wanted to kind of experience with my students. I had this old spy documentary, and this particular spy documentary is set in World War II. It's more like the Cold War era, right? So spy versus spy, that kind of thing. And I wanted to show them how the ancient spying methods and espionage that we see within classical ninjutsu still fit in fairly modern times. I mean, there's a lot of things that that have advanced even since World War II, obviously with technology and so forth. But I wanted to have that experience with them and watch this documentary, because there was lots of points in this particular documentary that we see in classical ninjutsu, right? So we did that, and I think that the cool thing about the stealth camp that we do every year is day one, we really tend to focus more on classical or historical or koryu ninjutsu, and day two, we still focus on, there's still a strong focus on historical ninjutsu, but we also focus on more modern tactics of information, intelligence, counterintelligence, things of that nature with espionage, because we don't want to be just training in the ancient methods where people can use modern technology against us. And I always make sure that whatever classical technique that we learn, we also learn a more modern variation of that. That's why I've always said the Budo, we're not just classical, we're practical, because I want my students to be able to protect themselves and the ones they love, regardless of the skill set within the martial arts. So that particular time I thought was really good, because we made some good food, not gonna lie. We had some drinks and some food and had a good time, and we got to watch a big spy documentary. And then after that, everyone got pictures together and certificates and all that kind of stuff, and it was a good time. So those are some of my afterthoughts on this year's annual Ninja Stealth Camp. So let me give you guys my outro. If this is the first video that you guys have ever seen of me, again, I'm Christa Jacobson. I'm the headmistress of the Budo, which means School of the Warrior Way. We teach 7 ancient ninja and samurai traditions. If you guys would like to see more on what we do, please check out our website at www.budoninjutsu.com. There you can see the 5 areas of training that we have, the 7 different warrior traditions, as well as a list of our schools. If you don't live next to one of our schools, you can always join the online Ninjutsu dojo and you can train with us that way. If you guys are interested in buying any of our books, DVDs, products, downloads, etc., please check out our website again, www.budoninjutsu.com. Click where it says store, and then all the items that we have for sale are on that particular page. So again, thank you guys very much for all of your love and support. I deeply appreciate it. Until next time, take care, be safe, and good luck in your journey of Budo. Bye.